Hi, my name is Charlie Sweet, and I'm a partner in Morgan, Lewis and Bacchius LLP's Washington, D.C. office.
And I'm Jerry Parker of Counsel at Morgan Lewis, also in the Washington, D.C. office. We are proud and honored to present Calvert Impact Inc.'s initial offering of cut carbon notes as a finalist for the Grunin Prize. Research by the U.S. Department of Energy has shown that more than 76% of all U.S. electricity use and more than 40% of all U.S. energy use and associated greenhouse gas emissions are attributable to the buildings where we live and work. Here in the United States, the commercial construction market is well over a $100 billion industry. The Cut Carbon Note program uses structured finance tools to address the outsized contribution to the climate change crisis caused by greenhouse gas emissions from commercial buildings in the United States. By leveraging existing green structured finance products, the Cut Carbon Note program incentivizes lower carbon impact features in both new commercial construction and improvements to existing buildings. This represents a huge opportunity to reduce the country's carbon footprint, so long as property owners and construction project managers have properly aligned economic incentives to use greener features in both new construction and existing buildings. One powerful financing tool property owners and project managers can make use of is the tax-advantaged financing afforded by Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy, or CPACE products. CPACE is a financing instrument enabled by legislation which allows building owners to borrow low-cost, long-term funding for energy efficiency, renewable energy, or other sustainable projects, and make repayments through an assessment on their property tax bill. There have been, however, comparatively limited back-end financing options to facilitate and encourage growth in this crucial marketplace, and, prior to the Cut Carbon Note, none that were available to retail investors. The Cut Carbon Note program has leveraged securitization financing technology in a novel structure to create a scalable and replicable back-end financing tool for CPACE assets.
Thanks, Jerry. You've covered the potential impact of the Cut Carbon Note program on greenhouse gas emissions. I'd also like to highlight another significant benefit of this program. By blending traditional asset-backed financing and securitization techniques with groundbreaking structural features and compliance strategies, Calvert has created an asset-backed, investment-grade rated, fixed-income product that, unlike most other asset-backed securities offerings, is available to both institutional and retail investors. There are two key innovations in this structure. First, the program uses a 501c3 tax-exempt entity as the issuing entity for the program, allowing Cut Carbon Notes to be sold to public retail investors in the same manner as other nonprofit securities offerings, while still remaining in compliance with applicable securities laws. Additionally, we devised and used a first-of-its-kind recoverable grant structure to comply with the credit risk retention requirements imposed on securitizations by the Dodd-Frank Act. This structure opens impact investing opportunities in this space to a much broader investor base than had previously been available in the asset-backed securities market. As Jerry mentioned, the proceeds from sales of Cut Carbon Notes are used to provide CPACE financing for office, industrial, and multifamily buildings. This financing covers the cost of efficiency improvements like on-site solar, smart building controls, and more efficient heating and cooling, windows, and lighting. These CPACE receivables are underwritten and originated by Calvert Impact's financing partner, Pace Equity LLC. Pace Equity also provides engineering reviews and design assistance to property owners geared towards maximizing the impact of the sustainable features financed by those receivables. After the CPACE receivables are originated by Pace Equity, they are then sold through a temporary warehouse financing vehicle to the issuer, which securitizes them through the issuance of Cut Carbon Notes. The issuer uses the cash flows generated by payments made by the obligors on the CPACE assets to pay principal and interest on the Cut Carbon Notes. The efficiency performance of the buildings in the Cut Carbon Note program portfolio is monitored, and their carbon footprints are tracked over time. The resulting impact metrics are provided to the holders of the Cut Carbon Notes on a semi-annual basis, in addition to reporting on alignment with the Green Bond Principles, the impact principles, and other relevant industry standards. The Cut Carbon Note program also incentivizes more sustainable building features with its tiered CPACE pricing structure, which rewards elevated efficiency performance. Buildings that achieve Tier 1 of PACE Equity's Cirrus Low Carbon Design Specification requirements qualify for a 50 basis point discount, and buildings that achieve Tier 2 of PACE Equity's Cirrus Low Carbon Design Specification requirements qualify for a 100 basis point discount.
CPACE-backed investment opportunities in the capital markets have generally been limited and available only to large institutional investors with large amounts of capital to deploy. The cut carbon note offering shifted this paradigm. The initial issuance of the cut carbon notes placed $29,700,000 of securities with more than 70 investors. Among them were millennials investing through their retirement accounts, individual clients at 16 financial advisory firms, and institutional green bond buyers. The initial portfolio of CPACE assets included 12 projects, 7 of which have achieved Cirrus Low Carbon Verified status in 6 different states. On a cumulative basis, the efficiency improvements facilitated by just the initial issuance of the cut carbon notes are expected to result in approximately 82,000 metric tons of carbon savings, $21 million in savings on energy expenditures, 121 million kilowatt hours of electrical savings, 550 million kBTU of heat savings, and 38 million gallons of water savings, with a total installed solar generation capacity of approximately 1,160 kilowatt peak power output and an annual solar production of approximately 970 megawatt hours. If the cut carbon note program scales to its full $400 million facility size, these impact numbers should only increase. At the full contemplated size of the facility, the cut carbon note program alone could provide efficient financing for hundreds of green commercial construction projects. The attendant reductions in carbon emissions from these more energy-efficient commercial properties are expected to have a much broader positive impact, and the performance of the cut carbon notes should educate and encourage investors to consider other similar impact investment opportunities. Perhaps more importantly, the securitization structure the legal teams devised could be duplicated and scaled by other market participants. This has the potential to drive an impact beyond just the cut carbon note program. This replicable model also could be leveraged to provide a new efficient method of back-end financing for impact products beyond CPACE assets. For example, Calvert Impact is considering using the same legal structure for small business loans. If investors remain interested in the cut carbon note program, the possibility of other institutions using similar structures to reach new investors in new asset classes could open a broad new segment of opportunities for both new and existing impact investors.
Lawyers were involved from the very infancy of the cut carbon note program, starting almost 3 years before the initial issuance in October 2023. Lawyers at Calvert Impact and Morgan Lewis considered many different potential structures and conducted an extensive multidisciplinary analysis before landing on the legal structure used by the cut carbon note program. Project lawyers structured the transaction, prepared and facilitated legal review of the offering disclosure documentation, drafted and negotiated the other legal documents for the program, and managed all document flow and closing logistics. Lawyers also were responsible for developing a multifaceted and innovative legal and regulatory compliance strategy spanning multiple disciplines and specialized expertise, which hopefully will increase transaction efficiency and reduce issuance costs going forward. As you can gather, putting together the cut carbon note program was not a simple legal undertaking. Its ultimate success relied heavily on the legal expertise provided by our colleagues in Calvert Impact's legal department and the innovative structuring and financing capabilities provided by our primary deal team at Morgan Lewis. We also received crucial contributions from our practitioners in several other legal specialties, including U.S. securities laws, tax-exempt organizations, bankruptcy, commercial law, ERISA, and investment management. Finally, the Blue Sky team at Warner Norcross & Judd LLP was indispensable in navigating state securities law compliance and related filing regimes. We thank you again for the opportunity to present the initial offering under the Cut Carbon Note program, an innovative and powerful tool in combating climate change by both incentivizing greener commercial construction in the United States and opening a new impact investing market to retail investors.